Good evening. The name I was given when I incarnated on this planet was Matthew Sean Ewing. It's time for another octave evolution. We've done 3 so far, from red to orange, orange to yellow, yellow to green. Now we're about to move into the blue, as is this planet. The dawning of the new age, the age that is upon us, is that of wisdom. That is the 5th octave. And it is also blue. And it is also the octave that we're moving into right now. We move from green, empathy. And basically in green, the concept to be driven home is that everything is one. We are all one beautiful, manifest energy, here to do exactly what we enjoy most, which is experience. There's no right or wrong in it. But in love, there is kindness and malice, intention, and the polarization of that intention. For one to be righteous in who they are, if they have malicious intent, to be so with love of self. Absolutely and completely. Never to half-step yourself, to sabotage, unless that is the experience you seek. Suffering can teach the lesson of how to get out of suffering. Empathy allows us to connect to all that is, as all we are, as all that is. See, we learn the lesson first of basically credentials. I am here. The red. That's what it deals with. The immediacy, the presence. How, in that octave, I explained the entire origins of existence as I perceive them at this moment. And the truth is, it's an unfolding perception, because what I'm looking is deeper within myself. And as I find it, I find that the subtlety of it changes the overt in so many ways, so many deep and subtle and profound ways. I become better at crystallizing those and communicating them through the effort, through talking to you, through talking to me, through talking all of the energy that runs in front of me into existence. With it, I bring substance. Anyway, empathy, we also talked about the spectrum. I've talked to you already about the concept of the progression of the color. From it does the electromagnetic spectrum and so many other versions of existence. Actually, all of them proceed in this color, red, in this wavelength, this frequency, orange, yellow, green, and now we're moving into blue. See, the process of doing it is the process of getting to know what the materials do. You're getting to know the actual, I want to say rule book, but it's not a rule. It's like a how-to manual on the universe. This is the way we build. We build first in survival, in presence, in groundedness, and rootedness, and explosions, and rage, and passion, and red, and fire. And then we smooth that out with beauty. We fall in love with ourselves, but romantic love, not selfless love. We fall in love with the sensation, the absolute bliss of the endless explosion. And we begin to cultivate it and give it adornment and beauty. And then we find pride in our work, which is the yellow octave, and the one that we moved into, that we dealt with power and the self, and gold, and the ego, and the perfection. And that perfection led us into empathy, because we are, in fact, perfect. Each one of us are perfectly functioning the way that we are supposed to. And that is the perfect gap for where we're going right now, the 5th. We're moving into wisdom. See, empathy shows you, man, we're all one, and what brings us all together is love. It is the attracting force. Either love for self, which attracts other things to it, or love for others, which attracts you to other things. But the thing is, it's still love. The very attractive force that we're trying to defined in that concept is love. Now, wisdom tampers that, because love tends to come when it's unregulated. It tends to have a martyrdom complex. I give myself utterly and completely, and there's none left for me. But the truth is, wisdom dictates that all there is you. Who is there to give yourself to? Ultimately, who are you sacrificing yourself for? See, when you can temper love with wisdom, you can start to see that, yeah, as all things, the experiences that I manifest, I'm responsible for manifesting them. And I can do it. Because not only do I understand how they work, but I know how they do. I can find the numbers and the logic behind it all. I can see the math. What I'm saying is this: the fifth is wisdom precisely because it tempers the heart. So many people are fixated on the idea of you lead with your heart, but that's not the whole and complete truth. It's a partial truth. Yes, you can, and you'll find that the heart frequency is a very joyous and a fulfilling one. But there is more beyond it. Not beyond in the sense of it's better than. Beyond in the sense of there's other lessons to be learned. Wisdom tempers the explosive beauty in rapt bliss of heart chakra living, and allows you to communicate that effectively. It allows you to use the ego and really shape the world around you. That's what wisdom is about. When you really know the base materials, which is what I'm trying to give to you now, you can shape it any way you want. And in wisdom, I will teach you how. Literally and utterly. I will teach you, if you were willing to allow me to dawn such a concept, I will tell you everything that I know about shaping the world from those base materials. And let me tell you again what they are. Light and sound. And both exist at a frequency. Red, there is a red sound. Just like there is red light. There is a orange sound. Just like there's orange light. And a green sound. Just like there's green light and blue light. Blu-ray. It's part of the technology stream that we're already putting out. See, once you understand the building materials, then you can understand them at their simplest form, and then it becomes literally like Legos. With your imagination, putting them together is any way that you want. And I don't mean to use a stupid cultural cliche, but it's the best way that I can make tangible the concepts of what I'm saying. Science dictates. Wisdom, mathematics, and probability, physics, cold rational reason dictates that there is a symmetry and a movement, a harmony, a mathematical and geometric precision to the unfolding nature of the creation. That is the truth of it. Once you can understand those materials in all their forms, in their simplest form, that's when they're at all their forms. And then you start delineating those forms. And we'll talk about currency. We'll talk about the path to wealth. That's easy. I could tell you what it is right now. You purchase assets instead of liabilities. That's it. Use the money that you have to purchase assets and not liabilities. If you have any liabilities, make sure somebody else is paying for them. That's how you win in a capitalistic system. It's just that easy. And it takes a hell of a lot of discipline and a lot of mental tenacity, but you can totally do it. Then you need an idea. There's wisdom for that as well. There's ways to manifest creation. It's called the secret, but it's you. See, you know what's so cool? I exist at a time where all of the material that I'm drawing from, 99% of it, already exists within the world. I'm not the subject matter expert on it, and I don't have to be, because none of it really interests me enough for me to devote my life to it. So what I get to do is sample it from the experts and then see how it interacts with that which I am an expert at. You know what that is? Coolest shit ever. I am an expert at being me. That's it. Utterly and unadorned, authentic. Asking myself who and what I am in every given moment and giving myself to that utterly. And understanding that I extend that to all people because it's the most efficient way. That's what wisdom does. It tempers empathy and says, hey, you need to understand that you are energy. And energy manifests energy. So what happens is how you use it is going to replicate. It's going to exponentially grow. So you can shape that growth by telling it intentionally what to do. That is the very essence of living. And it's also the very essence of magic. And I shit you not, this is what I'm teaching you. A magical system called Enesma. I'm a wizard in the purest sense of the word. What I'm doing right now is manifesting into this reality exactly the existence that I want to live in. I promise you, I will have it. And I don't mean it in the egoic sense. I mean, the collective I, am utterly devoted to the manifestation of this concept. And there's literally nothing that can deter me at that point. What I mean is this: if I'm all things, which I am, because empathy has taught me that. All things are one thing, they're one being. There is no separation, it's an illusion. So my rational mind says, then alright, if I'm all things, then if I'm utterly devoted to something, there is no thing that could not be utterly devoted to it. It's just not possible. Do you understand what I mean? I mean, if in fact all things are one thing, there is no way that I could be acting in the outside of the interest of that thing. So my wisdom says, what I want righteously. Not want, but sort of seek. That's the reason why the word is there. The seek implies a deeper, more solemn constitution than want. Wants are flimsy. They declare what I feel I lack in the moment. And they're useful for learning where you're stumbling, so to speak, so you can call that out. But your yearnings, your seeks, those things, man, whoo, they give abundant energy, because empathy is the wellspring. That's where all the energy is. 99.9% of it relies in the feminine. Align yourself with that frequency and create in harmony with it, and you will produce abundantly. And with wizardry, you can shape that production. You don't just become the open, like the open vein. You become the irrigation system. You know what I mean? Bringing water to where it's needed most, while also at the same time taking it from where it's not needed, where maybe it's going to waste. Wizardry, and Enesma specifically, is a magical system that is based on the concept that every version of light exists in a specific frequency. And if I can align my aura to that concept by becoming that color, then I align myself to the whole of that frequency, and I can manifest it in the form that I want. Now, we have the illusion of time here, so I have to do it progressively. I have to do it in the subtle, by, in essence, convincing all of me to give it to me. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm at first talking to those who are just seekers of information, which are the wonderful people who I really don't know who you are, but you're listening. And I would imagine you're listening with an open mind. Truly, if you find any way that you could expand on my consciousness, either by questioning or condemning, I'm open to it, because I'm here to process it. I'm going to reconcile all of it. The whole of existing as a conscious being in a evolving planet that is moving from the fourth density of love to the fifth density of wisdom. And then through that, I'm going to help shape the light and sound of the harvest. Like, that's what my role is. My chosen role. It's called a vocation, where it's both like an occupation and like you've been called to it. Hence the vocalization. Anyway, I'll give you plans, strategies, and the material needed to build the empire that you want to live in. But what I will require of you is to be an emperor. And then when we get to that point, man, then we'll move into the reason why the self cannot last. The self and the others stop here, and then past this point, it's only the others. I will talk to you soon. Be strong till then. Bye.